today. This reading is by Audre Lorde. She was a self-described Black lesbian mother, warrior, poet. This particular reading is from an essay called The Transformation of Silence into Language and Action, which was a paper she delivered in 1977 at the Modern Language Association's Lesbian and Literature panel. The Power of Speaking. I have come to believe over and over again that what is most important to me must be spoken, made verbal, shared, even at the risk of having it bruised or misunderstood. Less than 2 months ago, I was told by 2 doctors that I would have to have breast surgery and that there was a 60 to 80% chance that the tumor was malignant. The surgery was completed and the growth was benign. But within those 3 weeks, I was forced to look upon myself and my living with a harsh and urgent clarity that has left me still shaken, but much stronger. In becoming forcibly and essentially aware of my own mortality and of what I wished and wanted for my life, however short it might be, priorities and omissions became strongly etched in a merciless light, and what I most regretted were my silences. Of what had I ever been afraid? To question or to speak, as I believed, could have meant pain or death. But we all hurt in so many different ways, all the time, and pain will either change or end. Death, on the other hand, is the final silence, and that might be coming quickly now, without regard for whether I had ever spoken what needed to be said, or had only betrayed myself by small silences, while I planned someday to speak, or waited for someone else's words. And I began to recognize a source of power within myself that comes from the knowledge that while it may be most desirable not to be afraid, learning to put fear into perspective gives me great strength. I was going to die, if not sooner than later, whether or not I had ever spoken myself. My silences had not protected me. Your silence will not protect you. What are the words you do not have? What do you need to say? What are the tyrannies you swallow day by day and attempt to make your own until someday you sicken and die of them, still in silence? Primarily for us all, it is necessary to teach by living and speaking those truths which we believe and know beyond understanding, because in this way alone we can survive by taking part in a process of life that is creative and continuing. This is growth, and it is never without fear of visibility, of the harsh light of scrutiny, and perhaps judgment, of pain or of death. But we have lived through all of these already in silence, except death. And I remind myself all the time now that if I were to have been born mute or had maintained an oath of silence my whole life long for my safety, I would still have suffered and I would still die. This is very good for establishing perspective.